Very interesting Saturday game here in round 17, the second last of the round, and the Tigers up against the Eels, going down by 8, so close, in the end. Tigers scored fairly late. The Eels kind of had this one, eventually, after the Tigers had a pretty nice start to the game, and you see a couple of great scores from a few important players, which is good. So Mitchy Moses, as a starter, getting 79 was great for him, and anyone who's held on to him this whole time. He's obviously dropped a fair bit in price after going well into the 700s. He's now at 638, and that's pricing him at around the 45, 46 mark, and to pick up 79 with a try assist, a couple of line breaks, a try there to go along with his normal kick meters. But really the negatives were the big one that's down for him, with only 2 missed tackles there. So that was great from Moses if you held on to him. Obviously scored better than what someone like Dylan Brown did, who he scored okay, but he's someone that's been scuffling a little bit lately and scoring under 50 on a regular basis. For those that captain Papali'i, we got pretty well the best score of the round for the guys that were people looking at captaining. So 69 minutes for him, 67 points there. Obviously got the try, which was great. The 28 tackles there, the 5 tackle breaks, the 150 run meters was awesome for Paps, and great to see him back on an edge. Obviously, this is when he's a great chance of scoring those tries, getting the odd tackle break and offload as well. So he was great. Ofa and Papa was the other one. Obviously, big minutes is what we were expecting. The missed tackles and negatives in general was down at negative 12, which is a little bit higher than what we're expecting from him. And tackles a little bit lower than obviously last week, getting that mid 50s tackles. But overall, a 51 out of him. You're getting him that score pretty well where he's priced at, and he still will go up this week with how high his score was the week before with that 84. So Ofa, if you captained him, you're not absolutely hating it. Really, you're happy generally. Obviously, you'd like a higher score from him, but overall, anything over 50 with Ofa, I think you're going to get pretty regularly from here on out to the rest of the season. He's not going to be one of the top 5 or 6 mids, but he's going to be serviceable for you for sure, because that minutes I don't think is going away at all. All right, down we go. Brooks, Campbell Gillard, Sivo, all decent scores for Micah. He's not going to be a keeper, so I wouldn't be looking at him going into the next bunch of weeks. And Reedy boy, God, he's a frustrating player sometimes. He had 3 errors, the -1 in there with the with inside 10, and then the 8 missed tackles. So did make 51, which obviously saved his score, but 51 tackles, 2 try savers and a try, and still getting 47. I'm so off you. Reedy boy, 47, that's enough. That's all I'm going to say. There's a great chance that I upgrade him to Damien Cook next week. Probably it's going to happen. You watch him get 70 next week, Reedy. All right, Dillbags. 45 for him. Not good enough of recent time, that's for sure. And I think he's going to be looking at being my third half. Could potentially upgrade him to a DCE is another general thought of mine. He's obviously still averaging 51 for the year, but not great overall, really, with how well he started. He's really been getting the 80 and then the 40, 80, 40, 80, 38 kind of thing. And obviously a lot more 38s and 40s than he has the highest scores. But to be getting try assists on a regular basis, scoring tries, and still average less than he did last year by a good margin is a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. And the run meters are lowish, tackles okay. Just generally, you only have -4 and still only get the 45 with the try assist for a guy that's usually averages mid-50s. That's a bit annoying. Hastings 42, Nofaluma 44, Garner 44. And I think Lukey boy, you can, obviously some decent scores for him, getting him as a center. So it's up to you if you want to have him as like your third option, but he could be upgraded if you want him to. Obviously, there's not a heap of centers that are absolutely killing it. And if he's going to continue getting 80 minutes on an edge, it's really not the worst option you can have. Not far Hastings. Hastings trying to move him on. Hasn't been scoring anywhere near what he was of previous. Farmani Brown, if you picked up him in the last bunch of weeks, you're obviously getting some nice scores. His price to go up as well. Got the try again this week. So I'm really happy for him and how his career's turning out now. This year anyway, after a bunch of injuries and all the rest. To a commander with 39, so he was a few more minutes. Shawnee Lanes, this is where the issues with him come in. He had a rich vein of form there, been absolutely killing it on a week-to-week basis, over 50, and finally comes down to the pack with no attacking stats this week and -10 on that side of the ball. We got Makatoa, who played in the 13 role. We got Tuolangi, so 36 for him. And Pole, so 48 minutes is about what we're looking for. The tackles obviously is not ideal for how many tackles he had last week. You can see this week that the run meters were definitely up. So when he was on the park for that 48 minutes, they majoritively had the ball in their hands. So great to see him run for that many meters, but unfortunately no real attacking stats apart from the one bust. So usually you see these guys, if the middle forwards, if they're defending a lot, they're going to really rack up those tackle numbers and their score as well. So we could have got a better one out of him, but we'll still take the 35 there and run with it. Chris Lewis would have been a better one by about 10 points, but overall Pollard did a solid job for anyone who picked him up. Guy Rodwell with 32, his 24 minutes was good as well, but I doubt many picked him up. The main issue here, and we'll finish it off with this one really, is Penasini. So 2 low scores in a row now, and he's going to drop a fair bit of cash, getting closer to about 500k mark, and I personally don't think he's a keeper anymore. He just doesn't have the real explosion of a 60 plus score, and he's obviously consistent around that high 30s to 40s, but overall, he's got 3 really low scores in him now. One really good score above 60, and the rest have been sitting in that middle. So I think he's going to be sitting around that average from here on out, that 37.5, and there are better guys that you could plug in instead of him. And the last one there is obviously Adam Dewey, so 15 in his time at centres this week, and we obviously need him in that 6 role, I believe, for him to be a keeper. And it'll be very interesting come next year as to what they end up doing with him and what price he's going to end up at. But that's that second last game for the round, guys. Sorry it's a little bit late for you, but it will be there to review tomorrow, and I'll get the next one out to you as well. So I hope your teams have done well so far, and wish you luck in that last game. See you later, guys.